Hey everyone, when you think shark, you probably think big teeth. But what really separates a shark from, say, your average fish? Well, it's way more than just a bigger bite. Today, we're going to break down the amazing biology that truly makes sharks one of a kind. All right, so let's really get into it. What really makes a shark different from, a goldfish? I mean, they both live in water, they've got fins, but that's kind of where the similarities end. Biologically, they are worlds apart. It's like comparing a high-performance race car to a family sedan.
And first off, before we even get into the nitty-gritty, you've got to appreciate the sheer range of sharks out there. I mean, you've got the dwarf lantern shark, which is tiny enough to fit in your hand, and then you have the whale shark, a massive, gentle giant that's longer than a school bus. It's just an absolutely incredible spectrum.
Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this showdown. We'll look at what they're actually made of, their skeletons. Then we'll get into the art of floating, their crazy skin, breathing, and being born, and we'll wrap up by looking at their ancient blueprint.
All right, first up, how they're built. The difference is literally bone deep. Or maybe it isn't. The biggest thing that sets them apart isn't something you can see from the outside. It's what's on the inside.
So here's the deal. Bony fish, as the name suggests, have, bones. Sharks, they're totally different. Their entire skeleton is made of cartilage. Yeah, that's the same flexible, rubbery stuff that makes up your nose and ears. They literally don't have a single bone in their body. So why cartilage? What's the big advantage? Well, for one, it's much lighter than bone. This makes sharks super agile in the water. That flexibility lets them make these incredibly sharp turns and gives them that smooth, powerful swimming motion that they're famous for. Okay, next problem to solve. Floating. How do you keep a 4,000-pound great white from just sinking to the bottom of the ocean? Well, sharks and bony fish have two totally different and pretty ingenious ways of doing it. This is where it gets really interesting. A bony fish has something called a swim bladder. It's basically an internal Ziploc bag they can fill with gas to go up or down. Super efficient. But sharks? They went a completely different route. They use a gigantic, oily liver. And this is a huge deal. Oil is way less dense than water, right? So this massive liver acts like a permanent built-in life jacket. And get this, for some sharks, that liver can make up almost a third of their entire body weight. Talk about commitment. Okay, let's move to the outside. A shark's skin isn't just skin, it's like high-tech armor. It's a total masterpiece of engineering. You know how a regular fish has those smooth, overlapping scales? Forget that. A shark is covered in what are called denticles, and these things are basically tiny, sharp, tooth-like structures. That's right, it's like their entire body is covered in microscopic teeth. That's why their skin feels like sandpaper. And this suit of sandpaper is a real game changer. It actually reduces drag in the water, which means sharks can swim faster and way more quietly. The design is so brilliant that we humans have copied it for things like Olympic swimsuits and racing sailboats. Nature really did it best. And speaking of teeth, let's talk about the ones actually in their mouth. It's not like ours, where we get one set of adult teeth and that's it. Sharks have rows and rows of teeth, almost like a conveyor belt. When one falls out, another one just moves right up to take its place. Some sharks can go through an incredible 30,000 teeth in their lifetime. All right, let's look at two more really basic things, breathing and making babies. And you guessed it, they do these completely differently too. This is one you can actually see really easily. Look at the side of a shark's head. You'll see 5 to 7 open gill slits, just right there, exposed. Now look at a bony fish. It has just one single, hard flap covering its gills. That's called an operculium, and it's a major difference. When it comes to reproduction, their strategies are polar opposites. Bony fish tend to play the lottery. They release millions of eggs and sperm into the water and just hope for the best. Sharks are all about quality over quantity. They invest a ton of energy into just a few babies, either giving live birth or laying these tough protective egg cases you might have heard called a mermaid's purse. And when I say they invest time, I mean a lot of time. Take the Greenland shark. It doesn't even start thinking about having babies until it's around 150 years old. Can you even imagine that? Yeah, that slow growth lifestyle makes the Greenland shark the longest living vertebrate, any animal with a backbone on Earth. We're talking about an animal that can live for almost 400 years. It's just mind-boggling. So, okay, we've looked at all these differences. What's the takeaway here? What does it all mean?
It means that sharks and bony fish are built on two completely different evolutionary blueprints. From their cartilage skeletons and oily livers to their sandpaper skin and slow reproduction, they're just a totally separate and equally successful way to be a fish.
And that brings us to one last really important thought. That super slow, careful way of having babies, the very thing that made sharks so successful for millions of years, is now their biggest weakness in our modern, fast-changing world. So the big question is, can these incredible ancient survivors keep up? Thanks for joining me.